Dodgers, Padres. Same part of the country, Jake.
Yes.
A regional, a divisional matchup.
The side.
Dodgers had the Giants in the DS last year. They had the Padres in the DS this year. Heated series all the time. Let's see the burn. Let's hear it.
We are headed out west as we are taking the 5 and hopping on the 405. Daddy Trevor's Padres versus Trevor Plouffe Dodgers. Clevenger, Urias, and bottom one. Trey turns on one. Turner with the solo home run. And then Max Muncy, little fat, RBI single, 2-0. Make it 3. Will Smith gets jiggy on one. Gavin Fucks. I didn't write that down, but that made me laugh. 4-0, 5. Muncy scores again. Whoop, whoop. 5-0 Dodgers. They're dead. This isn't a rivalry. Oh, Will Myers solo dunk. Trent Grisham RBI. His name is Nola. N-O-L-A, Nola. It's 5-3. Okay, we got some runners on the bases, but the Padres, they ordered the flathead, and they got the Phillips. Phillips, big double play ball to get out of the inning. Dodgers bullpen holds on. 5-3 final. They take game 1 in L.A.
Wowzer. Chris Martin gets his first ever postseason save. They played Coldplay after his first out, and he smiled on the mound about it. Do you get it? Trev, Battle of Southern California.
And again, we talked about the Dodgers and what they can do. They didn't care about no rust. They never got wet, so you can't get rust without getting wet. I think that's right. Don't quote me on that, people. They came out swinging hot. I liked that San Diego made it the game there. Will Myers, after a defensive miscue, comes and makes up for it. I like that storyline there. But in the end, the Dodgers is too much. I think if you look at the game, I mean, Dave Roberts saw a win here and just went out and tried to get it as best he could. He ends up throwing, I think these are going to be the guys that he goes to after the starters. We're talking Phillips, who did get that beautiful double play. Beautiful. Right there by Lux and Turner. Then you go to Vesia. He goes an inning and 2/3 to Gratterall to Martin. These are his guys. Okay, there's other guys out there too, but I think this is gonna be his path, his pitching path to victory, if you will. Shout out you guys. So yeah, I mean, this is a Dodgers team that they're just really good at baseball. They can get you defensively. They can come sting you, and I think scoring first is so important in these games. We've talked about it. And Chris Martin kind of settling into that role seems right. I don't know if that's going to be all the time in the 9th, but it's kind of set up that way. You have Gratterall to come in and kind of put out any fires because he has that type of stuff. Phillips is kind of the same way, but earlier in the games, high leverage. And Vesia looked great against lefties and righties. He threw a nasty slider to Kim to strike him out. There was just a buzzsaw, dude. That thing had hair on it. It was humming going in there. Kind of a complete win. I was happy that the Cronenworth, I think, got the knock there at the end, so the Padres had a chance. It made for a nice little ending to the game, but Martin ends up getting Kim to pop out. I think first pitch, just missed it there. Strong game, but if you're the Padres, you kind of have to be looking at this being man, I said it before, if you lose game 1, it's just more of the same. The Dodgers have just owned the Padres this year. And now I think we're getting Kershaw. There was some Tyler Anderson stuff going on with the podium post-game presser. But if you're looking at Kershaw going game 2, I mean, kind of good luck. He's been nasty.
He has been nasty. And the pitching for the Dodgers in general, very nasty. You know who likes nasty pitching? Eno Saris, our good friend, and our other friends at Full Tilt Brewery. Trev, did you get some? They sent us a bunch of this beer, Stuff Plus,
you don't
which is Eno Saris's nasty pitching stat.
I introduced you guys to Eno, and now you stole him from me.
Yeah. Well, I'm cracking mine. There's no Yankee game today, and I get to relax. And they sent us a bunch. So shout out to Full Tilt Brewery. They're located in Baltimore. They make a bunch of fun drinks. I think they had an exclusive John Boy one at some point. I'm not sure. But Eno has his own beer. He likes pitching. They sent us beer for the postseason. Go get yourself some. Urias getting pulled. 70-something pitches. Now, you might be right, Trev. You're just going for the jugular. I know the Dodgers operate this way, even with their best pitchers. We saw them pull, who was it a couple years ago? Older pitcher, veteran guy, had like a perfect game going through 6 innings in the postseason. They pulled him. Shit.
Chris Young?
Was it Young? I'm totally blanking.
I am too. Let's do that out there.
All right. Well,
have you ever pitched for the Dodgers?
I'm interested. Jake and I were recording Talking Yanks. We went back out. Did he get in trouble? Did he start looking bad and they pulled him? Do the Dodgers know that the postseason is an absolute grind and they don't burn pitchers out because they burned Scherzer out by last year? Is that weary? Are they? Honestly, I'm asking because I know they do this a lot, but he was cruising, got one blip in the fifth. It's at 70-something pitches.
That's the thing. They were talking about in the broadcast, Dave Roberts just does not like to see his starters go the third time through the order in the postseason. So basically, I think that was it. And look, you're rested. You want to get these guys in the game to shake any rust off if there is.
It was Rich Hill.
It was Rich Hill. That's same guy. Rich Hill, Chris Young, same person, different arms.
Taken up top.
Again, I think it was that. You don't want to see your starter go the third time through the order. That's his and the front office's mantra. And then you have this rested bullpen who's you can rely on in any situation. And he said it. He said, I saw a lane. And that was it, man. They did go for the jugular, and it worked out.
Phillips has been so good this year. I know we've mentioned him a few times, and he comes into the playoff action, gets the big double play. Vesia just kept getting out, so they let him roll. Bruce Starr, how's your day at the office? One pitch to Manny, one pop out. All right, thank you.
Weird pop out.
Boom. It was a wild pop out.
It looked like it was going to be foul ball, and then it was like 20 feet in play.
Mix between foul ball, home run, and pop out. It works for now. Padres, what you're grabbing out. I mean, Dodgers, you held serve at home. You gave them the big punch, and then you held on. Padres, hey, you fought back a little bit against the Dodgers. You made them tighten up. You made them use their good bullpen. What would we have been saying if this game stayed 5-0 and maybe they didn't have to use some of these guys? They had to use their good bullpen. They see them. Hopefully they'll, if that matters later on in the series. And Clevenger gets hit, and it stinks. And hey, it didn't get talked about on the internet. I did see one tweet, and I wish I could credit them, but Clevenger was technically the only fourth starter going today or yesterday. The other wild card games, they won in 2. Clev is there 4, and he's not the Mike Clevenger that you think of in the Guardian days dominating. Like, he's still coming back and making his way back. He gets hit. He gets rocked 2.2, 4 earned runs, 5 runs total. And San Diego's secondary bullpen. Wilson, Pierce Johnson, Tim Chill from pitching from down under, and Nick Martinez, they put out an effort. Will that matter? I don't know, but the Padres saved their good bullpen. And, your secondary guys, if you need to tap into them later in the series potentially, maybe they've got the good juice flowing. So,
I think the Dodgers have so many good players. If you're like most, casual fans, you follow the postseason and the big names of baseball. Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts went 0 for 7. The heroes of this game were Trey Turner, who is a big name, and you do know him from postseason, and he's a friend of John Moore Media, and I like him.
Hot.
You know who else? Oh. Gavin Lux. He comes up with a big double, 2-strike double, works back the even count, and then Will Smith, a name that will never be associated with himself, comes to task.
Slaps
next Muncie too. I mean, it's just we talked about the
Jake
Yankees
was a little
trying
to
to
burn about my
get long. The Dodgers are long. I mean, they are long schlongs. If you know what I'm talking about, they just if Betts and Freeman go over, it doesn't matter to them because they have other guys that are going to step up. And tomorrow or today, Betts and Freeman are going to do it. And it's just it's relentless. You have to score. You have to continue to score against them because it's very hard to shut this Dodgers offense down. And then you got to go up against the pitching staff, and That's why they're so good. It's why they won 111 games. I think, again, like I said, scoring first is so important in these games because it allows you then to kind of carve out the way your pitching is going to go, and it just sets everything up. If you're playing from behind on the Dodgers, good luck. Like, you need to get out to a lead. You need to try to score first against them, and it's just difficult to do that.
I think Padres, similar to the Dodgers, they can use that same spin zone. Their top 4 in their lineup go 1 for 15. And, Machado and Soto had a couple at bats. I know Profar lined out, so hopefully that changes for them. The bottom of their lineup, Cronenworth, Kim, Gresham, they've been having playoffs. So, hopefully we have a classic teed up for today when this comes out. Kershaw and Darvish.
I will say this, and I wasn't on the episodes in the Wild Card series, but I kind of shared this opinion around. I'm not sold on it yet. I want to see a couple more years of it. I think the game 3, having to throw your 4 or whatever that happened that is what it was supposed to be. That's a big advantage for the Dodgers. I don't think the other teams really got that big of an advantage. Houston over Seattle, Braves over Phillies, or Yankees over Guardians, and just in general, on the concept of it, it hasn't been an instant win for me. We only had one game 3, electric atmosphere. So many of the games were day games over the weekend. So that wild card 1 game set where it's 2 night games and it's a national game and everyone's watching, there's only one that felt like that for me. It was the game 3, Mets Padres, and it was the only game that day. So it just didn't have that zest that usually we kicked off. For me, I want to see it a couple more years. We got but when games go 3, that's when it's really felt that winning the division was much better. And then we only had that in one situation here.
Yeah, I think that's the advantage that we all thought was going to happen from not being in the wild card round is only going to show up if the wild card round goes 3. You're totally right. You have your 4 starter going game 1 and all of that. I think that's probably the way MLB wanted it to happen. They wanted it to be a massive disadvantage because if you have the bye, typically you're a big market team, most likely, or like the chances are. So they want those big market teams going deeper into the playoffs. I'm kind of happy that teams have found a workaround that it's not such a massive disadvantage to be in the wild card. Go, win the first 2 games, or you can do what we talked about, throw your 1 and then don't throw your game 2 and try to work around that way. Because if you were just at a massive disadvantage going to the series, I just don't think that's feels right in playoff baseball. I want best versus best, and I think for the most part we're going to get that during these series.
I think the Yankees, they got a little bit of a leg up seeing Cal Quantrill instead of a Tristan McKenzie if it's a 1-game playoff. I think that's
just the Guardians 3 isn't great.
Right, but that's the whole point. If it was a 1-game playoff, you'd have Tristan McKenzie pitch in the first game of the series,
and Cal Quantrill pitched well, so no knock on him.
I
thought he was very impressive.
He gave a really good effort, but Tristan McKenzie, the year he has and who he is for the Guardians, I think you feel that. But yeah, you'd like to see too. And Trev, you talk about wild card advantage or not feeling hurt by it. Tell that to the Cardinals, tell it to the Mets. We had some teams who real hopes this year got chopped down.
Chop down.
And the chop. Chris Rose.
Oh, yeah. And now here we are. We got Darvish going up against what we believe is Kershaw. And now the only reason I'm saying we believe it's Kershaw is because there was some post-game press conference, or there was some setup for today's press conference saying that Tyler Anderson is in the game 2 starter's typical slot. We're thinking he's just announcing that he's going to be the game 3 starter. He's not going to announce it, but they're going to say he's the game 3 starter, and it should be Kershaw Darvish. Darvish has had, I think, 3 really good starts against the Dodgers this year, 1 kind of a blow-up start where you give up 5 earned runs, and Kershaw has been really good as of late. This has the potential to be a very, very close game going into the end, and then now are we saying, okay, we just saw your best relievers for the Padres, and now we had another night of seeing them. Could that be an advantage? Maybe.
Could be. I think it's going to be a pitcher's duel. I think I'm excited for that matchup. Wait, that's the 8:00 game tonight?
Yes.
Yeah, West Coast.
8:37.
Yeah. Darvish is fun to watch pitch. So is Kershaw.
Fully rested bullpen for the Padres.
Baseball.
Awesome. Cool. Well, if you're watching this before 4:30 East Coast time, make sure you head over to the live stream. Jake, Joe's, and Chris Rose. I'll be floating around as I work on some other stuff. Phillies, Braves.
Mad dog.
Go Braves. I want to tie the series.
Ooh.
I want them to go 5. I want everything to go 5.
What if we get a road for game 5? All the road teams.
At least 4. I don't want sweeps. Besides the Yankees.
Oops.
That would ease my mind. Yeah.
I have no rooting interest.
I think the Dodgers and Astros, after one game, the Dodgers and Astros kind of still remain the scariest, most complete teams in the postseason.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you. Be back tomorrow recapping the 2 NLDS games that happened today.
Wouldn't hate if Luis Castillo dyed his dreads blonde. He'd be full Valerian.
You would.